about how it's boring ass shit, but like the Excel stuff.
Yeah.
And diving deep into what you can do with that. And it's very valuable in a business situation. But
of course. When you can sort things and
and pull reports from different, collect massive data and then make it apparent for 3 different things that you need. And that's
right.
It's like, it's really cool when you get it, when it works right.
Yeah. No, we do, because we also did like SEO work and stuff, and we would do audits for other companies and different things, and there's so much data out there now, and people, all anyone cares about is like, where am I ranking?
Yeah. Well, that's what I love, because everyone always says,
like, where are you ranking?
Numbers numbers never lie. Numbers don't lie. And I'm like, well, I fucking make numbers lie every day.
Right. What numbers are you looking at?
Yeah. Let me just adjust your perspective, because...
Let me scroll over to column ZZZ.
Yeah.
And we can look at those numbers of, like, bottles of Jack Daniels drank by, 21 to 24-year-old females that make less than $50,000 a year that live in urban areas.
Yeah.
You can get down to that. You can drill down so far now. Yeah. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, what do you want to be known? What do you want to be known for? What?
Yeah.
Because everything is nichey now.
What I love. That's what I love about like the TravelinStiles stuff, and this is a departure. It's bucking the system. It's I want to. This is what I'm going to do.
Right.
Hopefully it comes around to like making money, but if the goal is putting out great content.
Right.
And I get addicted to it all the time. When I post something, I'm looking at it 3 hours later to see how many clicks
it is. How many feeds was it in? How many views did it have?
Yeah.
What's the engagement?
That just has, like, it happens. But the fact that it's actually you're doing something, you're creating something that's your own, and it's not, because your boss told you to do it, or it's not because this is something that I choose to do, and I love doing it, and that to me is one of the deals where it's like we're just missing that fulfillment. It's a fulfillment thing,
completely,
and
totally.
You feel accomplished doing something that's you.
Well, that was a big thing. Like I know exactly what you're saying. Like when I went to Wazoo, I got into radio up at Skagit Valley College, and I was doing like a radio show. And then I went to Wazoo and got into TV, and you were able to create stuff then.
Yeah.
And you get that bug. And then I was like, fuck, man, I don't want to be in news because it's very geared towards like a news station. The Wazoo broadcasting program used to be when I was there. It was all about like going to a small market, and then you're a cameraman, and then you're a TD, and then you're a director. Yeah. And then you go to a different shitty small market, and then you go from there, and then you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then you're in Tallahassee. Then you're in Toledo, and then maybe, if it all works out, you can, you're in Houston.
Yeah.
Or something.
It helps if you're young, blonde, and...
Right. But I was also just watching the news, and at that time, like, when you're in those classes and studying all these things, I could just see where news was going. This is at the, 2000, 2001, and all these cable news channels are really starting to pop up and become prevalent, and we used to study all that all the time, and I was like, this is all just fear-mongering, and it's all just, like, bullshit. And it's the skewing of the numbers. Yeah. What is our niche? What is our objective? What numbers are we going to take and give to the people and put in people's ears?
What's our algorithm?
Yeah, what's our algorithm? Who are the people we want to watch? Well, let's tell them numbers that are favorable to them, that they can take to their other redneck friends or their liberal friends and tell them these numbers, and then they can be like, aren't we right?
I just was literally talking about this with someone a couple days ago. It's like, I want to start my own news network called the Social Justice News Network,
right? And
just pander, total pander, and it'd be a success overnight. I mean,
no, totally. I mean, look at how many websites that you see when you go on Facebook. People are posting things, right? And it's like this, African Americans are saying this, and this is what, and you'll never believe what happened. And then you go to look at the website, and it's like, whitepower.org or whatever, or you look at it on the other side and you're like, these people are just making websites about their agendas. Yeah. But because people see it on the internet, they feel like it's got something behind it, right?
And that's all they see, because if Facebook and Twitter and whoever else has figured out what you click on,
Right.
And that's all they give you.
Right. And they feed it to you.
Yeah.
And the other thing now, too, I mean, even news is doing this. They're not even reporting news like so-and-so on a Twitter feed just said this.
Yeah.
They've got video. Let's go to them. And then you've got, someone with a cell phone, like, trying to...
Oh, shit, beep, beep.
Right. There are people who are people who have popular websites that are just looking at the AP Newswire and the Reuters and things like that. And then when something pops up, they write an article and post it. They're not there. They don't know any information. But, like, everything is like, hey, this just happened. Just so you stand by for more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it gets out there. It stays on the internet forever. And who knows what happens to it. But people believe that it's, like, a real stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really just someone's opinion. And it makes people who are doing this, like you or I, right? Like, people like, are these people even traveling?
Yeah.
These people even go places?
Is that a Getty image?
Is that yeah. And like, because there's a lot of people that do. There's a lot of people making tons of money that way.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but that's what it comes back to. Like, you have to go for your fulfillment, right? We're doing this because we want to create something.
And the assholes that are making the fake stories are getting a ton of fulfillment out of it.
Right.
They're getting 60 clicks a minute.
Right.
And they're just watching their ticker go.
Right.
And loving it, and that's their fulfillment. I mean, it's not wrong. It's just stupid. And it's stupid that it's... I think news... You're right, where news is kind of...
Right, stilted. There's so many different newses.
It's in a thing. Right. Like, news... Trump has made fake news, like...
Right, it's like a thing. The
thing now. And there's this... It's at a tipping point. It's got to go one way or another, because right now there's this balance. It's way out of balance. So you got Fox News or you got CNN, and it's totally left and it's totally right, and it's there's no kind of like shit. If you just want to like know the issues,
right,
you have to watch 3 different things and get different opinions on it to form your own.
Right,
and you're still not getting the whole truth.
Right, we don't have Murrow or Cronkite or Ted Koppel and Dan Rather, these people that are these like trusted figureheads now, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what happened when I was coming up. Everyone was starting, when I was getting into television and in the news world, they were starting to trend to like, everybody says the same thing. Well, let's say something different. Well, should we do that? I don't know. There's probably an audience that wants to hear something different, right?
Yeah.
Let's tell them that. We can sell advertising for something different.
Yeah.
Because it's about making money. Don't get me wrong. Like, the journalist believes that they're telling the story, but they've also got somebody looking at a budget sheet up in a very high office or a very expensive
we need to sell
suit.
4 Hondas
tonight. Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. Like, don't ever think that it's not about a business. Like, everything's about business.
Yeah,
money. That's one thing that's like sad that you learn. One thing that I've learned traveling is how money is such a motivator in every scenario, right? In every country.
Yeah.
And especially here, right? Like, why do Americans, right, or North Canadians or whatever, but people in that sort of Western style, why do we go to work doing these things
that you fucking
that we
hate?
Feel like we fucking hate, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like I'm fucking enlightened because I now no one will fucking hire me. They're like, I don't know what to do with your resume. You seem like a smart guy, but like, you don't really fit.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Fucking hippie.
You just took 4 years off. Wouldn't you ever work? Well, that's a red flag. We're not, but it was very rewarding to go and feel like we were doing stuff because we wanted to do stuff. That's all we were doing.
Yeah.
Now, but even now with the blog, you feel like, are we doing something that's going to be good content?
Yeah. Will it sell?
Right. Who's going to read this? What's the value? Are readers going to find value in this?
Yeah. And that's one of the things I've...
and why? Because eventually I would like to be able to do this for a living.
Yeah. That's what... that was the one advice that I've been sticking to that I hold close now is... someone told me this is if you would read it, someone else will read it, and just like stay true. Don't pander.
Right.
Don't do any. And that's like sometimes some of the shit I write, it's like stupid. And I'm like, fucking this is retarded, but I just hit send or enter or whatever, and let it go out there, and if it gets it, it gets it. And that's what I always find interesting is some of the stuff that I thought was the absolute worst shit ever was been the stuff that I get the most feedback from. I wrote about this hospital visit, emergency room. Jody had back surgery a few months ago, and they were basically pushing her out of the hospital, like out of post-op, saying, well, you're moving around, you've gone to the bathroom.
Right, we need this bed.
You're okay to stay if you want, but you can either stay here or you can go home and like sleep in your own bed and watch TV and, have your kids say goodnight to you. And so we were like, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and go. But they also took her off. She has severe anxiety, so she has to be on like Xanax every day. They said don't take that because it'll interfere with some of the whatever drugs they got her for antiseptic, whatever. She went into a full panic attack.
Right, she can't go back to normal life if she's
And so I'm calling the doctors. I'm calling the floors above the emergency room, saying we were just. Whatever it is.
We were just discharged.
Yeah. We got to come back. Just full panic. We need supervision on this. And like, we have to go to the emergency room. And we go to the emergency room. It's Everett. It's Providence in Everett on a Friday night. Holy fuck. We were there for 6 hours. They ended up giving us like a private room that she could lay down on. I was like, she just got discharged upstairs.
Right, can we just go back to the bed?
Look at this scar on her back. I'm like, and she's in a wheelchair. She can't. Like, I need to help her go potty.
Right.
It was just like, so I wrote that honestly how I was feeling.
Right.
And it was not supposed to be a funny blog.
Right.
But the feedback I got, like the next week, I had 30 people saying, "Oh my god, that was hilarious!" I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That wasn't hilarious. It is now.
Right.
But I wrote that with raw emotion of like, I'm pissed.
Right. Right. And trying to, and that's what's interesting about this whole endeavor for us is because it's not. I can get caught up in the information and be like, I want to be able to give people good information that they can use for their travels or something that's going to inspire them. But there's also part of it, and you learn this. If you watch television and things like that, like there are people connect with personalities, right?
Yeah.
And they want to feel like they know you.
Yeah.
And trust you. It's kind of like you said, like it's kind of like a sales thing, right? Like why do people watch, the Housewives, right? It's not to see them throw a table over, like because they kind of connect with those people. Like that person reminds me of my friend.
Yeah.
Or look at their relationship between
That's
these two
my
people.
pub time.
Right. I totally saw this coming.
Yeah.
Or like any of these, like the whatever that show is on HGTV. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's with the guy there. It's the husband and wife, and they're in Texas or whatever, and they
flipping or
it's not Flip or Flop, but it's like
yeah,
Chuck and Joanne are their names.
Yes,
I can't think of the name of the show, and I should. But anyway,
it's a great show. What the fuck is
those people are everyone knows them.
Yeah,
they're like, I know those people.
Yeah, I want to put Subway tile in my kitchen now.
Right. Yeah, totally. And all that, like Flip or Flop and Tarek and Christina and all those people have a relationship and they feel like they know those people, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm not good at in the blog. And that's what, when we talk to people who are successful at this, is you do if you grant people a certain amount of access.
Yeah.
Through your writing, through your media.
Yeah. That was the argument that we had at the beginning of this with me and my wife was, are the kids going to be involved?
Right.
Because are you going to throw pictures on there? Are you going to be doing this? And that's, I decided yes. Like,
right.
There's nothing to hide. And yeah, there's scary shit that could happen, but it's not going to happen,
Right. You hope that it does. I mean, it is. It's the percentage is low, but you're calculating the risk, right? I mean, it's the same thing like with, if you Private Parts is such a cool movie because a guy like Howard Stern made his living exposing himself to these people and connecting with people on like a very weird, like rebellious, connective kind of level. And there's that scene with his wife. She's like, "Hey, you weren't going to talk about this," and he talks about her being pregnant, and like
losing the baby,
right?
Yeah, and then